Tycho Brahe proved the Earth moves around the Sun. He just didn't believe it. He spent his life collecting the most precise astronomical data ever recorded. Measurements so accurate they destroyed his own theory of the universe, and he died convinced he was right. This is the story of the scientist whose data changed the cosmos, but whose mind never followed. Tycho Brahe was a Renaissance rock star in the most literal sense. At age 20, he lost the bridge of his nose in a drunken duel over a mathematical argument. He replaced it with a gleaming gold and silver prosthetic and wore it proudly for the rest of his life. He ruled his private island observatory like a feudal lord of science. The complex had laboratories, workshops, a printing press, and astronomical instruments larger than any ever built. Visitors described lavish banquets, strange pets treated like aristocrats, and a court that felt more like myth than academia. But beneath the spectacle was something far more dangerous than eccentricity, an obsession with accuracy. Night after night, year after year, Tycho measured the heavens without telescopes, without modern tools, just geometry, patience, and instruments of his own design. His observations were 10 times more precise than anything before him, but that precision would become his undoing. History points the scientific revolution as a battle between bold visionaries and stubborn traditionalists. But Tycho Brahe wasn't stubborn. He was careful. He rejected Copernicus's sun-centered universe not out of ignorance, but because of evidence. He had two major objections. First, physics. If Earth were spinning and flying through space, why didn't we feel it? Why weren't oceans constantly sloshing? Why weren't birds left behind? To Tycho, the stillness of daily life wasn't coincidence, it was data. Second, parallax. If Earth orbited the Sun, nearby stars should shift position over the year. You can test this yourself. Hold a finger up, close one eye, then the other, it jumps. Tycho searched for that jump in the stars for 20 years. He found nothing. Today, we know why. The stars are unimaginably far away. The shift is tiny, far too small to detect without telescopes. Stellar parallax wouldn't be observed until 1838, nearly 240 years later. As far as his instruments could tell, the Earth did not move. So Tycho did something brilliant. He built a new model. In his universe, Earth sat motionless at the center. The Sun and Moon orbited Earth, but the other planets orbited the Sun. It was a perfect compromise. It matched observation, it preserved physics, it satisfied theology. Mathematically, it worked just as well as Copernicus's system. For decades, astronomers could predict planetary motion without choosing between them. His model wasn't foolish, it was reasonable, it was elegant, but it was wrong. Because the real threat to Tycho's universe wasn't philosophy, it was numbers, his numbers. Tycho's greatest treasure wasn't his theory, it was his data, a massive archive of measurements of more precise than anyone had ever recorded. Then a young mathematician arrived, Johannes Kepler. Tycho hired him to solve one stubborn problem. Mars. Its motion refused to fit existing models, but Tycho was suspicious by nature. He gave Kepler only fragments of his data, guarding the rest like a dragon over gold. The tension between them was constant. Then, in 1601, Tycho died suddenly. His final plea was simple: let me not seem to have lived in vain. After his death, Kepler inherited the full data set, and with it the fate of the universe Tycho had built. Kepler began analyzing the numbers. He tried to force them into Tycho's system. He tried to force them into Copernicus's. Neither worked. Kepler's real discovery was not that Tycho was wrong or that Copernicus was right, but that both had inherited the same ancient mistake, the belief that celestial motion must be circular. The data refused to obey. Tycho's measurements were so precise that Kepler couldn't ignore a tiny discrepancy in Mars' orbit. Just 8 arc minutes. 8 minutes of error. To most astronomers, that would have been close enough. To Kepler, it was a crack in reality. Those 8 minutes shattered 2,000 years of assumption. Planets do not move in circles. They move in ellipses. That insight became Kepler's first law of planetary motion. His second and third laws soon followed, all built from Tycho's observations. Tycho's data didn't just support heliocentrism, it made it inevitable. Tycho Brahe died believing he had saved the old universe. Instead, he had supplied the evidence that destroyed it. He never accepted that Earth moves, but he made it impossible for future scientists to deny. His story reveals something profound about science. Progress doesn't always come from being right. Sometimes it comes from being honest. Tycho measured the heavens faithfully, even when the truth hidden in those measurements contradicted his deepest beliefs. He was the last great naked-eye astronomer of the ancient world and the essential architect of modern one. The data outlived the doctrine, and in doing so, changed the universe we believe we live in. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.